Retirement can be more expensive than people expect, not because retirees suddenly start spending more money, but because retirement changes where the money goes. If you're not prepared for them, they can put pressure on your budget, reduce your savings, and make retirement more expensive than expected. So in this video, we're looking at 8 retirement expenses most people don't plan for, why they catch so many retirees off guard, and what you should know before they become a problem. Because retirement doesn't eliminate expenses, it changes them. 1. Healthcare costs beyond Medicare. One of the biggest ways retirement changes where your money goes is healthcare. Many people spend years looking forward to Medicare, believing it will dramatically reduce their healthcare expenses. And while Medicare can provide valuable coverage, many retirees are surprised to learn that it doesn't eliminate healthcare costs altogether. In reality, retirement often brings a different set of healthcare expenses. Prescription medications, dental work, vision care, hearing aids, deductibles, and co-payments can all become regular parts of a retiree's budget. The challenge is that these expenses don't usually arrive all at once. Instead, they tend to show up gradually over time. A new medication, a dental procedure, an increase in healthcare costs the following year. Individually, they may not seem overwhelming. Together, they can become one of the largest ongoing expenses in retirement. That's why healthcare is often one of the first places retirees discover that retirement hasn't necessarily reduced their expenses. It's simply changed them. 2. Home repairs and maintenance. Another common surprise involves homeownership. Many people enter retirement believing that once the mortgage is paid off, housing costs will drop significantly. And while eliminating a mortgage payment can certainly help, homeowners often discover that the house itself continues demanding attention and money. As homes age, major systems eventually wear out. Roofs need replacement. Heating and air conditioning systems fail. Water heaters break. Appliances stop working. What makes these expenses particularly challenging is that they rarely arrive on a convenient schedule. A retiree may carefully budget for monthly expenses and still find themselves facing a repair that costs several $1,000s with very little warning. That's why many retirees discover that housing remains one of their largest expenses long after the mortgage is gone. 3. Property taxes and insurance. Paying off a mortgage is a major financial milestone. Unfortunately, it's not the same thing as eliminating housing costs. Property taxes and homeowners insurance continue long after a home is paid off, and both can increase over time. For retirees living on a fixed income, this can be frustrating. The house may be completely paid for, yet the cost of keeping it can continue rising year after year. In some areas, property taxes have increased significantly. In others, homeowners insurance premiums have become much more expensive than people expected. These aren't expenses that typically grab headlines, but over the course of a retirement that lasts 20 or 30 years, they can have a meaningful impact on a household budget. 4. Helping family members financially. This is one expense that almost never appears in retirement calculators, but it appears in real life all the time. Many retirees find themselves helping adult children, grandchildren, or other family members financially at some point during retirement. Sometimes it's assistance during a job loss. Sometimes it's helping with childcare, education expenses, housing costs, or an unexpected emergency. Most people don't plan for these situations because they're impossible to predict. And to be clear, many retirees are happy to help when they can. The issue isn't whether helping family is good or bad. The issue is that these financial commitments can become part of a retirement budget without ever being part of the retirement plan. Over time, even modest support can add up to thousands of dollars that many retirees never expected to spend. 5. Long-term care. Long-term care is one of those expenses many people don't think about until they absolutely have to. Most people plan for doctor visits, prescriptions, and Medicare premiums, but they may not plan for help with everyday living like bathing, dressing, eating, or getting around safely. And that kind of care can become expensive very quickly. The tricky part is that long-term care usually doesn't show up right when someone retires. It may come years later, after the retirement budget already feels settled. That's why it catches people off guard. It's not always part of the early retirement plan, but if it becomes necessary, it can change the entire financial picture. 6. Transportation costs. Transportation usually gets cheaper in retirement, but it doesn't go away. You may not be commuting every day anymore, but the car still needs insurance, maintenance, registration, repairs, and eventually replacement. That last part is what many people forget. A car can last a long time, especially if you drive less. But if it needs major repairs or has to be replaced during retirement, that could be a major expense. So even if transportation is no longer a daily work expense, it is still something that belongs in the retirement budget. 7. Inflation. Inflation is one of the hardest retirement expenses to plan for because it doesn't arrive as one big bill. It just makes everything else cost more. Groceries, utilities, insurance, healthcare, home repairs, and basic everyday needs can all become more expensive over time. At first, the increases may not seem dramatic, but over a retirement that lasts 20 or 30 years, even gradual price increases can make a big difference. That's why retirement planning is not only about what things cost today. It's also about what they may cost years from now. 8. Living longer than expected. Living longer is a good thing, but financially, it also means your money has to last longer. Many people plan for the day they retire, but not always for how many years retirement could actually last. If retirement lasts 20, 25, or 30 years, every expense on this list has more time to add up. Healthcare has more time to increase. Inflation has more time to reduce buying power. Home repairs, taxes, insurance, and family needs can continue for years. So one of the biggest retirement risks is not just spending too much. It's underestimating how long the plan needs to work. Final thoughts. Retirement should not be something to fear, but it does help to know what can change. Some expenses go away, but others take their place. And the more prepared you are for those changes, the easier it is to protect your budget and your savings. Because retirement doesn't eliminate expenses, it changes them. Which expense do you think surprises retirees the most? Let us know in the comments below.